call home and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
Welcome to Talkin VAWLS episode, man, I'm all over the place, 117. Oh, the Vols take care of business. Big win, big win, huge win. I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk about it. 42-17 over Vanderbilt. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Dauber. What's happening?
Oh, you guys owe Dauber a lot tonight because I was waiting on JP to show up. And I even put it in the chat that we'll go live as soon as JP gets here. And Dauber reminded me that JP's not going to be here. Yeah, he's I forget what he's traveling. He's out of town, something going on. Oh man, I completely forgot. Dauber's like, yeah, he's not coming, man. You should probably go ahead and start the show. But anyway, let's get into this thing. There's so much to talk about. They took care of business. They did what they're supposed to do, and I'm still pissed off. The title of the show is something about my blood pressure and Jeremy Pruitt. Volunteer Nation says, what's up? Lonnie Allball Williams wants to know, why are you so negative? At least we won. Yeah, we won. We beat basically a high school team. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to tell you why I'm pissed, and I hope that Dauber talks me off the ledge. But, yeah, I'm not happy. Kevin Bear is here in the chat, says, we beat Candy. Big win tonight. Big win tonight. Michael James, I agree. I'm having some fun. I'm having some laughs. I am happy for a win. I saw some encouraging things that I want to talk about and get into tonight. They also cause concerns for where this team is at right now. Donovan Milliken is here. He says, hit that like button, smash it, destroy it. Brandon Bryant says, I've already done it. It's smashed, it's destroyed. Chad Shaver says, Bailey has a heck of an arm. We're going to get into it. We're going to discuss everything that went down tonight, but we are glad that you're here. Where do we go with this thing, Dauber? I know you got opinions. We were kind of talking about it before we went live, so let's just get into it.
I'll go ahead and throw it out there. It's been the theme of the year, quarterback play. The handling of the quarterback position. You've got Harrison Bailey, starts the game off 7 for 7. He coughed the ball up, but
that was not a fumble.
Can you put that all on him? A little bit of a blown assignment from the line. But yeah, I agree with you. If it was a fumble, it was very close. I kind of lean towards it not being a fumble as well. But the interview or the commentary that I heard Pruitt allude to was they were going to play both guys. They were going to, there wasn't a set so many number of series or whatever. They were going to go with who's hot. And I would think 7 for 7 is pretty hot. But then you yank the kid and then you put Shroud in, who also played well. But then you bring Maurer in for a play. And then you continue to Shroud back to Harrison Bailey. And it just – you never really got a sense of a good rhythm from anybody that was in there, in my opinion.
And that's the thing for me. And it was a roller coaster of emotions for me because when the game started and, Harrison Bailey came out, he started 7 for 7, and then Shroud came in the game. And I saw a lot of people on Ball Twitter. I saw people in our chat going nuts saying, why are you benching this kid? Why are you pulling him? He's 7 of 7. And I kind of took Pruitt's side on that. I was thinking, and I even changed the name of the stream. Dauber, I changed the name of the stream to Shroud versus Bailey. Who's the future? Okay? Because I was I'm fine with it. It's like you said, everything that we heard going into this game was they were going to play both guys, and there was going to be a schedule, and they were going to come in, play X number of series, then they were going to bring Shroud in, X number of series, and then we saw it, Bailey came back in at halftime. We think that's the direction. They're not going to go with the hot hand. They're not going to bench kids. Everything is planned out and scheduled. So you tell me why when Shroud comes in and throws an interception in the second half, he gets benched. He gets put on the bench. So clearly it's not a set schedule. So Jeremy Pruitt made the decision when Harrison Bailey was 7 for 7, moving the ball, doing good things, to sit him down because there's a schedule. There's in his words, there's a schedule. There's a schedule. So we got to put Harrison Bailey on the bench when he's 7 of 7. But when JT Shrout makes one bad throw, he gets benched and he's done for the game. Why does Jarrett Garantano get a leash a mile long, costing this football team games, but JT Shrout, when he's on a schedule, comes in and gets benched after one interception? Can you imagine where this team would be if Jarrett Garantano got benched after one interception? Maybe we wouldn't be sitting here at the bottom of the barrel screaming after winning 42-17.
I just don't get it. That was another thing I kind of wrote down some notes. You've got, this is the first game since early in the year that all four quarterbacks traveled. And then you don't even see number two, who has been the best chance of winning all year long. It's been a blunder. The way that position has been handled all year, and I'm not putting anything on any of the guys playing quarterback, but the way that the coaches have handled who plays, the development, it has been a blunder. And that's one of the biggest red flags to me. Ultimately, it rolls downhill from Pruitt, but you've got to look at Winky and just the what we've got from that position this year, and it's abysmal. It has underperformed whoever's out there, but man, I don't know, just head scratcher all night long. I mean, I seriously think that if you had either of those guys out there, Bailey or Shrout, or heck, maybe even Maurer, this record is potentially different.
I agree 100%. And Katusa here, Katusa 93, Tennessee won, Boogie. Tennessee won. Look, let's you guys can, I'm probably the most optimistic guy when it comes to Tennessee football. I haven't been this year for good reason. Yes, they won the football game. They did what they were supposed to do. Did Jeremy Pruitt out-coach the Vanderbilt staff? No. He went out there against a football team that had less than 50 scholarship players on their entire team. Less than 50 scholarship at Vanderbilt. We're talking about Vanderbilt. Less than 50 scholarship players. They couldn't even fill out a two deep of scholarship players on defense. So don't come at me and say we're talking about a team that won. Yes, they won. And that, kudos to these kids. Kudos to every football player on this team that is going out and continuing to fight, because I don't think this team has ever given up. I think they continue to show up week in and week out, and they go out and they play with heart. They play with passion. Sometimes maybe a little too much passion, but I admire that. I admire a team that has 2 wins going into the night, still coming out and playing with a chip on their shoulder. I do. I admire that. So don't tell me that they won. They won. Yeah, they beat a team that has way less talent. Half the talent's gone. They fired their coach. If Tennessee had lost this game, you think I'm mad now? You think I'm irritated now? If Tennessee lost this game, I would have probably been kicked off of YouTube with the anger that I would have brought tonight. So I'm just at a loss for words that Tennessee beats Vanderbilt, and I'm still sitting here scratching my head.
Well, I mean, that's you've got to look. They had 18 defensive players on scholarship playing tonight, and I think one of those is a guy playing defensive line that's a converted offensive lineman that moved over last week.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get excited and pumped up about this, because this is one of those, we should have beat them. We should have taken care of business, and we did. But like you said in the intro, there are things that are still concerning, even from what I saw tonight. And one of those is, look at all the people that made plays that haven't been out on the field yet.
Yeah, it's so concerning. So concerning.
I know Jabari Small was out there. He had a couple of really good plays.
D. Beckwith looked good late in the game when he got in.
And I know Beckwith and Small are kind of coming off injuries, and maybe they've been being brought on slowly. But look at Hyatt. Look at the couple plays he's had. Look at the couple plays that he had against Alabama, and then Velus Jones, the kid in open space. It's just that there has been a misuse of the talent that is down there, and I don't know what it is, because in my mind, I think Jim Chaney wants to get the playmakers the ball. That's what he wants. He wants to sling it around all over the place, get in the open field. But I don't think that there's been an opportunity because of the poor quarterback play. But I mean, that's what I've said for a couple weeks now. There is talent on this team. There's a lot of talent on this team.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part. And some people in the comments have come after us on this show for saying that there's talent on this football team. But there is a lot of young talent that needs to get on the field. Let me hit this super chat. I do want to say we've got 219 people watching live. Do us a favor, hit that thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds. It definitely helps the channel. We greatly appreciate it. What you guys have done for us over the last couple of months has been mind-blowing. This channel is blowing up. It's all because you guys showing up week in and week out. Like we say all the time, we're no experts. We're not insiders. We're just a couple of dudes that love Tennessee football. And we appreciate you guys joining us and hanging out with us every single week. The super chat from Jesse P for $1.99. Thanks so much for the super chat. It says Bailey's the future if they develop him. Big if. And let me tell you what, I was going to spin this narrative. This was going to be the whole narrative for the show until Shrout threw the pick. I don't know that Bailey is the future. And yeah, he looked good. He went, and this is the conversation I kind of wanted to have. You know, Bailey came in, started the game, went 7 for 7, and then got benched. But where was Bailey throwing the ball? It was a lot of check downs. It was a lot of quick passes, and he made some nice throws. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm a Harrison Bailey fan. But JT Shrout comes in, and the offense got way more exciting. Way more exciting. He's got a big arm. And again, they both did nice things. So my question was, what is the future of Tennessee football? Do you ride with Harrison Bailey, or do you think that JT Shrout? How nice was it to see Jalen Hyatt in the slot running a slant? JT Shrout with that big arm hits him in stride, and he goes untouched for a touchdown.
Maybe the coaches have learned something watching game tape of us getting torched.
Did they learn something since this day and time?
Was there any consideration to make a change at quarterback?
No, I mean, I don't really know where that would have helped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I said last week that the end of last year, after Jarrett Garantano got hurt, and then when he came off the bench and rotated in, and they used the kind of revolving quarterback between Shrout, Maurer, and Garantano, that's really when this team kind of started clicking. I don't know why they didn't go to that earlier in the year. That's where I'm going with the whole. It makes no sense how the position has been handled.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. And we talked about, not only the quarterbacks, but the offensive line, how they're rotating guys in and out and moving guys around, shuffling them around, and claiming that gives you more diversity going forward if you need to move a guy here, move a guy there. I think it's impacted the way that this team is developed on the offensive line and at the quarterback position. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I think that Pruitt should have come out and said that Harrison Bailey is the guy, and that's who he's going to go with. But then on the flip side of that, JT Shrout has come in and done some nice things. And, I saw somebody in the live chat during the game saying that Shrout is an upperclassman. That's not the case. He's a sophomore. So, I was very angry last Saturday in the post-game show. Very angry about the way they handled the quarterback position. But that's because I thought that Harrison Bailey was getting an opportunity to go in and play, and he wasn't going to get yanked. He wasn't going to get pulled, and this week I I had a different understanding of what they were going to do. So I thought, the in and out until they bench Shrout. That's when I got pissed. Why are you benching Shrout? Because he threw an interception. It's like the game is well in hand. And if these two guys are in a battle to see who's going to be the future of this program, then Shrout deserves every opportunity because I think he brings a lot to the offense. And, some of the people coming in the chat, it's so funny. It's one says that Shrout looks better than Bailey, and one says Bailey's the future. And it is just an ongoing quarterback controversy in Knoxville. It's never ending.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the pick that Shrout threw was bad.
It was bad. And so was the one he threw against Kentucky.
So
but he never saw the field for how many weeks after the one at Kentucky?
Right. And that's the thing. These guys haven't had the opportunities that they had last year to get out there and have game reps. It's harder to base stuff off of practice. As much as Pruitt wants to say it's about how they practice. Practice isn't the same as a game. I don't know. I'm done talking about quarterbacks though, because it's just been such a nightmare the way it's been handled, and it makes no sense. So to try to make sense of it, you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's the problem, and that's where the frustration comes in when you're talking about Jeremy Pruitt. I mean, it is what it is. So again, we got 216 people watching live. Let me do this real quick. I want to share my screen. It is look, guys, we got one game left to go. We're winding this thing up. We appreciate all the support that you have given us thus far. What's up?
Maybe two. We might get a bowl game.
Don't get me started on that. Let me tell you something. Y'all want to see? I won't even be angry. It'll just be I don't know. It'll be pathetic. I'm sure I'll make videos, and this team does not deserve a ball game. But that's another story for another day. I just want to ask that you guys check out our Talkin VAWLS merch. This is the new State Pride shirt that we dropped this year. You got the 3/4 sleeve baseball tee. It's available in several different colors. But if you go to bonfire.com/talkinvalls5, all the links are in the description. You can go check it out. Like I said, it's available in multiple colors. You also have the hoodie, which I'm about to order myself. So these are going to print because I want to pick one up before the end of the season. But they're also available in just the plain T-shirt. But check them out. Good prices, good quality merchandise. We thank you guys. Whether you have bought merchandise or dropped super chats, or a lot of people have joined the channel just this week alone. I want to encourage you to check out the emojis that I put in for just this episode. You got the Harrison Bailey emoji. You got Smokey, obviously the Talkin VAWLS emojis. And you can even put Fulmer, who has high blood pressure. You can check out that emoji. They're all there. But if you want to pick up merchandise, the link for all of that is in the description. And yeah, thanks to everybody that boogie a sellout for super chats. You know this. Maybe I am, man. Is that bad? Is that a bad thing? I'm not a sellout. I'm saying we appreciate the super chats. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying thank you, and thank you to the members of the channel. We're glad that you're here. So you don't want to talk about quarterbacks anymore. What do you want to talk about? I mean, look, the bottom line is Tennessee did go out and take care of business. They did what they were supposed to do. But as I said earlier, Jeremy Pruitt didn't outcoach anybody. So did you walk away happy, or are you just kind of like, this is what should have happened?
I mean, I think it's what should have happened. I still don't think it was a complete game. I still think that there were issues, and we still had a horrible time trying to stop the slant on defense. The middle of the field was open for them when their quarterback put a good throw on a receiver. It's hard to gauge anything off of this game because, like you said, Vanderbilt was so undermanned or womaned.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
40-some scholarship players. It's what happened tonight should have been what happened, and it's. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't excited about the football game all day today. I was more excited for the basketball game. You know, and I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I've texted my wife. There are no kids on laptops. The TVs are not streaming.
Do you want to drop out? Why don't you close StreamYard and then open it back up and come back?
All right. Yeah, I'll try that.
All right, cool. It's just me and 200 of my closest friends. I'm glad that you are here. Darby will be right back. We'll see if we can get it fixed. Wayne Shelton in the chat says, I bought shirts, hats, everything. And then Boogie won't let me on unless I super chat. Wayne, you know that's not true. You know that's not true at all. There's 200 people here, Wayne. I try to hit as many comments as possible, but if people are super chatting, then yeah, they are going to take priority. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. I do the best I can. I'm just one man, Wayne. I'm just one man. I'm not picking out anybody specifically. I'm looking for comments and dropping them in as we can. That's the way we do things here. But I do want to encourage you guys, you kind of joking about basketball. We got a lot of content coming your way this week on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Make sure you check it out tomorrow. The Indie Kid is going to drop the day after, as he does every single week. He's going to take a night to sleep on it, and then he's going to come tomorrow night, and he's going to talk about this Tennessee Vanderbilt game. And then Monday, he's going to drop the Orange Blazer. He said he's going to focus more on the big win against Cincinnati. Tennessee wins 65-56. Basketballs take care of business. He's going to talk about that, but then kind of look ahead a little to Appalachian State. And then that's going to bleed into Tuesday night. Talkin VAWLS live. Dauber and JP will be right here immediately following the Appalachian State game. And then obviously Wednesday, the regular Talkin VAWLS live show at 7 p.m. all Eastern time. Make sure you guys are subscribed and don't miss out on all that content coming your way. Walter Miller with a $2 super chat says, I think Pruitt gets another year. Yeah, I don't even know. Dauber, do you think if Tennessee had lost this game, I told my wife in the first quarter when things were not looking good, I said, if they lose this game, I would tell him to walk back to Knoxville. I would not let him back on the team bus. I would tell him just to go ahead and start walking. Do you think he was coaching for his job tonight, or do you think no matter what the outcome was, he's coming back next year?
Oh, man. Fulmer came out a couple weeks ago and said, yeah, we've got to support our coach and we've got to give him a little bit more time. So I really don't think a move would have been made this year. Just with everything that plays into it, between COVID and everything else. But I definitely think that would have sped up the process leading into next year. Now I don't know. We talked about that a couple weeks ago about the financial side of it, how the university is sort of what have I seen? It's like a $20 million shortfall, just with the lowered attendance for basketball and football. It's something. Yeah, if a move needed to be made, there could be ways to have it done. But is it really the most responsible thing to do when we are still paying Butch Jones through the beginning of next year?
Which that's over. Did you see that? Congratulations to Butch Jones for being named the head coach at Arkansas State today. That happened during the Tennessee game.
Well, isn't that great?
You're going to pick up your Arkansas State merchandise.
Yeah.
You should show up next week. You should show up next week with the Arkansas State hat on. That'd go over great on this show.
Hey, I broke out like a hat from the early 2000s when we used to win football games.
Man, I was so ready to spin this thing and say it feels like the 90s, man. You know, which the basketball team took care of business today. Tennessee takes care of Vanderbilt. I was at the gym listening to Aerosmith earlier this afternoon. It's just a great day. It felt like the 90s. Oddman 256 with a $2 super chat says, "Stop using auto tone." He's doing the best he can. Look. JP travels and the AOL dial-up just shifts to Dauber. I can't control it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what kind of operation we're running here. Jordan Young says, let's listen to the press conference. You guys said that I'm a shill for Super Chat. So if you want to listen to the press conference, I guess you'll have to Super Chat because apparently I'm a jerk that doesn't let Wayne talk and I only shill for Super Chats. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. It is what it is. What else? Here comes another Super Chat. Let me read this and then we'll kind of go and talk about the defense a little bit. Philip Horton for $4.99. Thanks for the Super Chat, Philip. We appreciate the support and looking at your picture, your service. I think so. Thanks for your service. I should win into coaching. Them buyouts is business. Yep, they are. It is. It's almost like who cares if you win or lose because you got that buyout, and that's what we're dealing with Pruitt. But I think if they had lost today, I think phones would have started ringing. The money men would have started saying, "Hey, I'll give you some cash. I'll take care of the buyout. It's time to move on." Lucas Sharp right here. I don't want Hugh Freeze here. You guys must want to go on pro. Who's you guys? We've not said anything about Hugh Freeze. You might be arguing with somebody in the chat. I don't know. I don't know that Hugh Freeze would even get it done. And Blitz 621 says he deserves a second chance. I do believe that. I do believe that people deserve a second chance. Would you have any confidence if Hugh Freeze was coming to Knoxville that he was going to get it done?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the way the game has transitioned and shifted to a more offensive dynamic and the emphasis on, scoring points. And the way this team is set up, it has Jeremy Pruitt's thumbprints on it, and its strength, and I use that loosely, is defense. He's a defensive-minded coach. But
wait,
well, I mean,
wait. What did you just say? What'd you say the strength of this team was?
Defense. Yeah. But no, I mean, when this team averages 17 points a game, it's not set up to score. And I think every other SEC team is averaging 30-some points a game. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win many games when you're below the average scoring. So it's just, I don't know. I think the game is more offensive-minded right now, and Freeze is definitely he's got some offensive stuff that's clicking and going right now. But you look at, I think Saban's kind of figured out the spread and slinging the ball all over the place. He's adapted. It's something that I think Pruitt's going to have to kind of evaluate. And if he's micromanaging, let Chaney have the wheel. Get out of the offensive room and let the guys that you've hired in do their job.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big concern for me. A lot of people that are putting blame on Chaney. I don't know that Chaney's calling the game that he wants to call. I really don't know. I don't know. So I don't know if you put that on Pruitt, you put it on Chaney, or you just put it on the entire coaching staff. I mean,
well, and that's something we've said all year. It's top to bottom. It's not just the offense. It's not just been quarterback play. You've got to look at the offensive line, the talent and potential that is on that line. And there have been games where we can't pass protect. There have been games where the first half we are opening up holes and the running backs are gashing teams, and then come out in the second half and we can't convert a 3rd and 1. And that's the biggest thing. I think you look at both sides of the ball and the problems on 3rd down that this team has had, both offensively picking up a first down and then defensively not getting off the field on 3rd down. It's just been an Achilles heel all year long for this team.
And I mean, that goes back to what you were talking about earlier with Jeremy Pruitt being a defensive-minded coach. He's supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. He brings in Derek Ansley, and you're talking about 2 secondary coaches, and the secondary is probably as bad as anybody. That entire defense is bad, though. That defensive line, and tonight, let's look. If you guys want to look at just tonight, you people yelling and saying that Tennessee won, they took care of business. They got some pressure on the quarterback tonight, and the defense played well tonight. But you got to look at your competition. You're talking about not only Vanderbilt, but a very weak Vanderbilt team, a team that has lost their head coach, a team that has limited scholarship players because kids are opting out. Do you really, maybe some of these kids were buying in. They had a little pep in their step in the first quarter, but it's hard. You got to look at Pruitt's overall body of work, and that's what we've been saying all along. You got to look at the facts, and the facts are this Tennessee secondary has gotten worse as we've moved through Pruitt's 3-year tenure. They have gotten worse. Thompson made a great pick six tonight. He made a great play, one-handed catch. He also held the guy on the play. But this secondary, these linebackers have done a good job, I think, against the run game, but they're atrocious against the pass. They're terrible. And this defensive line has failed to get pressure all year long. So you can say they did good tonight, but we're talking about Vandy. So
do we need to fire our second defensive line coach?
Maybe that's the problem. I noticed that our second defensive line coach got into it with Winky again on the sideline. Did you see that?
I didn't catch that.
Mm-hmm. I really doubt that Chris Winky will be back next year. I don't see it.
His contract is up at the end of this year.
I cannot see him coming back.
Man, I don't know. He is supposed to be in tight with Ty Simpson. Although Ty Simpson is, I think that's a pipe dream, just based on some of the things that kid is saying right now.
Yeah, I watched an interview with him this week. Austin Price sat down with him, and he was kind of talking about why he leaned. He talked about Clemson, Clemson, Alabama, and Tennessee. Is that his top three? Is Clemson? I think Clemson's in his top three.
I think so.
And they asked him why he was interested in Tennessee. And all he talked about was, they're trying real hard to get back. And then he asked him about Alabama. What do you like about Alabama? They win. Yeah. And when that's the first thing that comes out of the kid's mouth with what he likes about Alabama, it's hard to feel real confident that he's going to come to Tennessee. But that said, if let's try to spin this thing positive. Let's try to be a little positive here. If this staff can find a way to develop, the first thing I would do is get rid of Winky. I would send him to the moon. I would be done with Winky. And here's a super chat that follows up with what I'm saying. Walter Miller for $2. Thanks so much, Walter. We appreciate the super. How come when JP's here we get less super chats? Is that a coincidence? Maybe they just love JP. I know they hate me right now. That's fine. I don't care. Walter Miller, $2. We appreciate it. He says Winky doesn't seem to do much of anything. You're right, Walter. He would be the first guy that I got rid of. And then I would sit down with Jim Chaney, and I would say, you're making $1.5 million, and you wanted to be a walk-around coach. Well, guess what? You're not going to be a walk-around coach anymore. You're going to coach the quarterbacks. You're going to sit down in the quarterback's room, and you're going to work with these guys, and you're going to develop either Harrison Bailey or JT Shrout or both. And we're going to have a quarterback competition going into 2021. Dobber, what do you how different would this season have played out if we had consistent quarterback play? If we had the way Harrison Bailey has played the last 2 weeks, how different would it have played out?
A whole lot different. I mean, you look at let's see, three of the games we've lost, we were leading at halftime. I don't think we have those second half collapses, and I think we probably average more than 17 points a game. Listen, tonight was the first night that or first game since the Missouri game we've scored over 20 points. We had I quit keeping track of the plays over 20 yards, the explosive plays we had. I think it was 8 or so. I mean, that's doing some good stuff on offense, but again, you have to taper that with the competition that we're going against. It's Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt was limited, and Heck, there was a game that they played a couple weeks ago that they didn't even cross midfield. I don't know.
Donovan's saying we need all three of us. We're like the Warriors. What are you saying, Donovan? I'm a pure shooter. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Sorry. I thought that was funny, so I had to put it on screen.
I don't know. I think if any of the quarterbacks, because don't get me wrong, we've seen good things out of number 2. And he's had potential, but I think that he's had a disservice as well. As the same as Harrison Bailey, the same as Brian Maurer, the same as JT Shrout. None of these guys have been developed. None of these guys have been pushed. It's mind-boggling what has been allowed to happen with that position group. You don't see that anywhere else.
No.
Somebody comes in and they either make plays or they're done. Somebody else is going to be in making plays.
You usually have a guy, like somebody that is the guy. And instead, I've never seen a football team in the almost 40 years that I've been on this earth where you have 4 quarterbacks that consistently get in and out of games. It's like you said, it's mind-boggling. Mr. Bubbalo with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much for the support. We greatly appreciate it. It says plays look slow developing, not all on the quarterbacks. And I agree with that. And that's something that we have said ongoing. I'm just curious of the mindset of where would this team be if they did have good quarterback play. But, that is something that we have been consistent with.
Wide receivers not getting separation. The
defense is a train wreck across all 3 levels.
Right.
This team has way more problems than just the quarterback position. Yeah, and that's talking about wide receivers. I mean, there were drops. We can run down Strout's stat line and talk about how much better that Harrison Bailey's looked. The wide receivers did not help JT Shrout out tonight at all. Several drop passes. Hyatt dropped a pass. Johnson, he threw a nice ball, I thought, to Johnson, where only Johnson could catch it right at the sticks. He drops it. Deep ball to Palmer. Palmer's checked out. That dude played good football early in the year. I'm not a fan of him right now. He seems to have checked out, and we saw it last week, throwing his hands up. Like, what do you expect me to go up over the middle and catch a football for you? Get over it, kid. I'm not doing that. In the words of JP, get out of here, man.
How about Crouch with the one going right through his hands?
Yeah, for a touchdown.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, how did that not even get knocked down? Or, I mean, that's just typical Tennessee. That's like the missed pick that we had against was it Alabama that would have kept them out of the end zone and right before the half was it McCullough?
I think so,
but it's. This game it went the way I expected. I think you were dead on right up until halftime with the score.
I was picking the first half. I thought that's what we were doing this week.
Of course, we all 3 were right around the same pick that we had score-wise. But, no, I mean, and it wasn't all bad. There was some exciting stuff. Jimmy Callaway. He had a couple plays tonight that were exciting. That's another young kid that, thought we'd see more of, thought he'd be contributing. But I don't know why he's not seeing the field. It was good to see Chandler and Gray in the backfield at the same time. That was kind of different, something we've not seen.
Something that we were promised, that Jim Chaney said he would probably have a heart attack if that wasn't happening early in the year. And it's taken us to this point to really see it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man, it just makes me question this coaching staff. Like when we're talking preseason and your offensive coordinator says, well, if I don't have Chandler and Gray in the backfield at the same time, then I probably had a heart attack in the booth. Well, did Jim Chaney just have a heart attack and we don't know about it? Like, is that what happened? Like, I don't understand that statement. Like, that statement is like, well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's what I would do. And then yet we've not seen it until now in the Vandy game. I'm pretty sure that's the first time we've seen it.
But you look at, the offense was kind of clicking and moving and scoring points. But then we want to get fancy and try to direct snap to Gray to flip it back to Trout to throw. I mean,
Bailey was the quarterback that was in at the time. Like, what is happening?
It's, just another one of those coaching moments that is a head scratcher. Same thing we did. I can't remember what game it was. We got down to the goal line and we want to try to throw the ball after running it down. Was it Arkansas's throat? And then we throw a pick. It's these things, why change up something if it's working to try to get fancy? I mean, we're not a fancy team. But let's face it.
No.
We aren't built to do stuff like that. A little too big for our britches. Stick with what was working and what got you to that point.
I don't know, man. It's if anybody's saying, well, let me hit this first. Tennessee Sports Network becomes a member of the channel. Thanks so much. We appreciate that support. And I hope to see you playing with the custom Talkin VAWLS emojis down in the chat. We do have, what do we got? We got 194 people watching live right now. Anybody that wants to curse JP and say, this show is terrible because you're not here, now's your opportunity because he's in the chat. He is in the chat. It's your opportunity to say, these guys are terrible. They can't do this without you, JP. Like, they cannot survive without VAWLS JP. What would we do without him? Maybe Dauber's internet would be working if he was here. Mr. Bubbalo back with another $1.99 super chat. Says, y'all see Derrick Henry as a running back in the fourth quarter. I don't know what this is about, but Travis Adair for $5 super chat says, woo, pig suey, Dauber.
I have no clue. I've got guys thinking that I'm Alabama fans and Arkansas
I don't know what's
fans.
happening.
Hey, man, I'm an alum.
I'm confused by that super chat, but I appreciate it.
No clue.
I appreciate it.
Wear it out.
All I want to say is, and the super chats are starting to come in. And if you guys want, let me say this: if you want to watch the press conference, put a 1 in the chat right now. If you guys want to watch it, I've got it pulled up here. It's 18 minutes. We can watch it. We can skim through it if that's what you guys want to do. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to watch it. I just want to say this. For anybody saying they won, they did great, they played great, all that jazz, they had to fake a punt from their own territory against Vanderbilt. They had to use trickery, like Dauber just said. They had to run an end around flea flicker. They had to run reverses. It's just, we're talking about Vandy. Yeah, Donovan, it was Vandy. It was Vandy. And that's what we had to do. Look, again, I want to give the players credit. And I started to name this stream Players Play and Coaches Coach because the players went out and made plays. And I would almost even say they saved Jeremy Pruitt's job. They saved his job because players made plays tonight.
You think so?
How am I looking like a thug? I've just got a Talkin VAWLS hoodie on, man. Like, do you know guys in the streets that wear Talkin VAWLS hoodies? I don't. If they do, I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. If you see somebody like in the streets of your hometown, let them know I appreciate them picking up a Talkin VAWLS hoodie, which you can too. All the links to that are in the description. Let's go ahead and share this press conference up. Let's get into it. That's what you guys want to do. You guys run the show. This is your show. Even though you don't like me and you don't like Dauber, you just like JP. I totally understand it. Thanks, Brandon. It is a sweet ETSU hat. Let's all right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Here is the Jeremy Pruitt press conference.
You gonna make it bigger?
I can. Is that better? Hold on. There it goes.
Yeah.
Come on, Jeremy Pruitt. Start talking.
Got to get his Dasani.
And then we'll take questions. As usual, hit the raise your hand function and we'll call on.
Yeah, we need permission on some, if you don't mind, Bill. Permission on some.
Sure thing. No problem. problem. We'll turn it over to Coach now.
Who's running this operation?
You know, I'm really proud of our guys. I'm proud of our coaching staff. I thought they had a really good game plan. You know, it's good to see them have fun. You know, I thought, you know, defensively we played much better on third down, which helped us a lot. I think probably far and away our best game on third down defense, but we scored one on defense. Thought both quarterbacks threw the ball well at times. I know we had one pick there in the fourth quarter there, but we don't need. But I thought we created some explosive plays offensively. It was good to see. You know, I thought Toby done a nice job kicking the ball. You know,
Can I ask why we didn't talk about Toby more? I mean, we're talking about a walk-on kicker, right? You know, and all I heard about how kickers come in and kick extra points, and they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, we're talking about a true freshman quarterback that led Vanderbilt right down the field. Great little drive against Tennessee, made some nice throws, threw a touchdown pass, and all I heard about was their kicker kicking an extra point and how great that person was. Weird.
Not ever kicked in a game before, so that was good for him. You know, we played a lot of guys, played a lot of young guys. It was good to see.
Maybe if he was a she, they would have talked about him more. It's just a thought.
Some of those young backs at the end of the game. Thought we got a lot of pressure on the quarterback on defense, and at least affected him. I don't know how many times we sacked him, but we got him off the spot and got him moved around. You know, so, you know, probably the most disappointing part in the game to me is, you know, we've been a really good team this year without having penalties, and unusual, we had live ball penalties, you know, so I got a couple of holding calls and, you know, two blocking the backs, all really in one drive there. So, but, you know, I'm glad to see our guys get a chance to have some fun and finish a game. And, you know, we've got one more opportunity, and our guys are thankful for that.
Questions?
Whoa, we can't watch this. Whoa, that's going to get me banned from the channel. Hold on. First of all, can VolQuest stop with their mid-roll ads? Like, that's going to get me banned from YouTube, Brent Hubbs. Hold on, let me get this reshared before I get kicked off of Twitter or off of YouTube. Hold on. Share audio. Goodness gracious. I was trying to text Dauber and JP and make a smart aleck comment that I can't say on air because somebody might get mad, but I'll send it here. Let me get this pulled back up. Ah, man, what a terrible turn of events that was.
It's a good thing that we played our best game against a team that had 40 some scholarship athletes taking the field.
Yeah. Best game. It had nothing to do with their talent. Nothing.
You got to bring it when you're playing a team with that many guys on the sideline.
And girls.
We'll start with David Pascal, and then we'll go to David Up.
Jeremy, can you talk about the decision to replace Harrison with JT in that first half? I guess it was right after the turnover, but it was also after Harrison had gotten out to a 7-for-7 start. Was that a planned deal there?
Well, no, we kind of went with a feel for it there. You know, let me tell you, Harrison's not going to.
What a liar.
Do anything but improve, right? And you know that on the fumble there, lots of things that he needs to work on. Is not knowing what to do or where to go with the ball. It's how fast that he plays, and that's normal for a guy that's going into this league. So we had a plan to play JT because he's played really well last week, and just to see how he would do this week. We thought he did well. You know, we decided to go back with Harrison at halftime and gave them both opportunities. But they're both young players, and the one thing that they missed, you know, with fall camp is the opportunities to play in live situations. And the way the season started early, it didn't work out that way. So we're giving them both opportunities.
Jimmy, when you look at, you kind of mentioned some of the preseason stuff, but what did you feel like Harrison and JT have done over the last few weeks to sort of earn that and become the guys that are playing the most right now for you guys?
Well, we lost 6 straight by double digits, so I figured why not? The fan base is pissed, so I go ahead and make a change of quarterback.
Well, for Harrison, it's just opportunity. I mean, based off the circumstances of our fall camp, I mean, we got no chances. So, you know, there's just nothing he had control over. So we wasn't going to put him in a situation where he didn't have a chance to have success. I mean, so that's the one thing JT did get a lot of opportunities in fall camp. He didn't hardly have the same circumstance, but so with the extra practices and the extra reps and really having these 2 or 3 off weeks during the season has given both of them an opportunity, you know? So, I mean, it's hard to go play at a high level at quarterback, right? If you don't get a chance to take a lot of reps. And when I say that, just the circumstances of having so many guys out just didn't give them opportunities as much.
What was kind of preventing JT from getting those game opportunities early in the season?
Well, we were playing another quarterback.
We'll go to Wes Rucker, then Austin.
Was there any consideration to make a change at quarterback?
No, I mean, I don't really know where that would have helped.
I mean, what kind of an answer is that? He asked why. Well, because we weren't playing him. Okay, well, why were you not playing him?
Yeah, the Harrison Bailey excuse makes sense to me. A true freshman. And, you know, that's kind of something I talked about early in the year when everybody was saying, play Harrison Bailey, play him now. Everybody wanted Harrison Bailey to be the next Peyton Manning. You're talking about a true freshman that didn't get a whole lot of reps in camp. So I get it. That decision makes sense. JT Shrout's a kid that had opportunities
Played last year, right.
Yeah. So when you're talking about, I mean, we're talking about last week, we're sitting here on Wednesday night saying, I could totally see Jeremy Pruitt trotting Jarrett Garantano out there with 1 day of practice. But yet JT Shrout doesn't get that opportunity. And yeah, we're talking about a 5th-year senior versus a sophomore, but still, I just don't get that logic.
But the thing, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The thing is, though, look across the country. There are freshmen playing all over the place.
Everywhere.
And everybody has been impacted by COVID. It's not just isolated to Knoxville, Tennessee, and the University of Tennessee football team.
Yep.
It is something that the entire nation has had to deal with. It doesn't make sense. And it's that's probably one of the most frustrating things about the head football coach is the excuses and how he contradicts himself with the things he says.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand the things that come out of his mouth. And at one point, I felt like he was a guy that, while yes, there's some coach speak there. Also, at times, I felt like he was a pretty cut and dry dude. He didn't make excuses, and I like how, and he's still doing it. Like, if I'm being honest, he still does it a lot on the Jeremy Pruitt, the Coaches Show. He takes responsibility. He's like, that was probably a bad call there. I didn't put our guys in position to succeed, and that's fine. But the reality is everybody's dealing with COVID. And yes, the restrictions may have been different in the state of Tennessee, and it may have impacted the state of Tennessee more than it did Florida, Georgia, other places. But I don't care. Like, I don't care. Stop using it as an excuse.
Players play.
Yeah.
Put them on the field and let them play.
Yep. And we saw that tonight. We saw it tonight with Jalen Hyatt and JT Shrout and Harrison Bailey. We saw players make plays. Tennessee Sports Network with a $2 super chat. Thanks so much for the support. We appreciate it. Says, so if JT had such a great fall camp, then why JG? Exactly. Why JG? A guy that, you know, why I didn't, a lot of people call me a JG defender. It's not necessarily the case. You've got your head football coach in a season where no media is allowed access to practice, telling you that this guy gives you the best chance to win. You got to believe that. But once we start getting into the season and seeing games play out, you can't use that excuse anymore. Because what I saw tonight didn't tell me that Jarrett Garantano gives this team the best chance to win. Adam Bowers, do you think JG had dirt? No, I don't think that we're dealing with flat earth conspiracies and aliens and tinfoil hats. I don't think it's that deep. I just think that I don't know. I don't know.
Here's what it is. I think Jeremy Pruitt, deep in his heart and in his mind, knows that Chris Winkie has failed developing anybody in that quarterback room. And at the beginning of the season, JG was the best prepared to lead this team as quarterback. However, coming out of the half at Kentucky after, a really bad first half, that's when a change should have been made to try to spark the team in that game, a winnable game. And instead, it snowballed, and there was never an adjustment made, and that is all on the coaches. On the coaches.
Yep. At some point, you got to move on, but for whatever reason, he didn't, and I think it's going to cost him his job eventually. Maybe not this year, but the way that things played out over this season are going to impact next season. So.
Oh, absolutely. Recruiting wise, we are already taking a hit.
Yep.
And it's just compounded by the way that this season has played out.
And that's what drives me nuts when people are like, "Oh, he needs more time. He needs more time." At what point does more time cost you because of recruiting? I mean, we're seeing it now. So what's going to happen next year when we continue to see that Jeremy Pruitt is not the guy? How bad is next year's recruiting class going to be? You better find a way to win. You better hit your wagon to JT Shroud or Harrison Bailey. And good Lord, I don't know what you're going to do with this defense. You better find some Al Wilsons and Eric Berries somewhere in that locker room. You better find them. You better find some leadership, because otherwise it doesn't matter how much time you give him. It ain't going to matter. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Austin Price.
Jeremy, with Bayless, producing a lot more the past couple of weeks, has he just, gotten more comfortable out there, or just gotten more in rhythm with the offense? And are you still hopeful you can, convince him to come back next season?
Well, I think there's probably a lot to that. Bayless got here at mid-year, but only with 2 practices. That didn't help him, obviously. On the way fall camp was for a lot of those guys. Really it didn't give us a great opportunity offensively, especially in the throw game, to create chemistry. But again, with the extra time, it's helped with Baylor. And this team gained their confidence. He's more than just a return guy and a rocket sweep guy. He's a guy that's developing.
I will say this about Bayless Jones, and I hate to insult a kid that just played a great game. He has been terrible in the return game. I thought that's where he was really going to add a spark to this football team. He's not done a good job in the return game at all. He played a great game tonight, made some great catches, and I hope he comes back next year. I don't know that he will. Even the commentary team tonight talked about him putting some stuff on tape tonight to try to get drafted in the NFL. I hope he comes back, because I don't think he's been utilized as well as he should have been. Bayless has played some good football tonight.
Into a good route runner and catching some balls down the field that can create explosive plays. Catching some contested balls. It's done it the last couple of weeks.
Coach, talk about the play that Bryce Thompson made there in the first half. I mean, it's pretty heck of an athletic play there, and just what kind of a momentum kind of switching play was that? And then what did you see out of some of your younger guys tonight? Beckwith got in there at the end. Callaway had a catch. Key Lawrence made a nice play on a slant. What do you continue to see out of some of those young guys?
Well, first off, Bryce.
Key Lawrence, another guy that we've been begging for all year long. He gets in there tonight, makes some plays. How about that? Where's he been? Why can't he get on the field when the secondary's been absolutely a disaster? Let me say this, and then we'll hear more. We do have 193 people watching live. We're glad that you're here. We appreciate the support. Do us a favor, take 2 seconds, hit that thumbs up. We're at 164 thumbs up right now. Let's get that thing to 200. Let's get it to 200 before we go off air. We would greatly appreciate that. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't checked out the Talkin VAWLS merch, all the links to that are in the description. All kinds of t-shirts, hoodies, different logos. We would appreciate it if you check it out. And just a reminder, a lot of content coming your way this week. Tomorrow, the Indy Kid's going to be dropping the day after. He'll give you his thoughts. Since JP's not here, you guys can lean on the Indy Kid. Since you don't like me and Dauber, you can lean on the Indy Kid tomorrow with the day after. Check that out. Monday, the Orange Blazer, as he recaps the basketball's win, 65-56 over Cincinnati. Tuesday night, immediately following the Appalachian State game, JP and Dauber will go live with the basketball show. What time's tip-off for that? Is it 7 o'clock?
I believe it's 7. So
Yeah.
it's late night with JP and Dauber.
Yeah, I think I'll probably set the stream for like 9:30 or 10, but those guys will go live as soon as the game ends. So be tuned in for that. And then Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Talkin VAWLS live as it is every week. We'll be talking about the Texas A&M game. Whew, going to be rough. Indy Kid, let's just calm down. That's not what's going to happen. It's not what's going to happen. Not going to happen. Corey Mosier says, oops, hit the wrong one. Says, I love you guys. Thank you for your shows. God bless. Thank you, Corey, for hanging out. It is what it is, man. We're just good friends that love to hang out and talk Tennessee's athletics with you guys. Yeah. Maybe we can get the Indy Kid to come on for a stream before the season's over. I'll just put him on blast, challenge him to do that. All right, let's hear more of Jeremy Pruitt's post-game press conference after the 42-17 win over Vanderbilt. Here we go. Here's more.
Pulled his hamstring last week, and that's happened to a couple of guys, just the stop-start part of it. So that's why he only played on third down. I thought it was a really good call by Coach Ansley there. And
Lord have mercy. Can they shut up? Can they shut up? Like people banging stuff and like screaming in the background. Like, can we be a little bit more professional here? Thank you.
We got pressure. Quarterback got out of the pocket. We had the next guy that was there. So Bryce made a great play, and there was 2 or 3 blocks there that helped him get in the end zone.
All right, we'll go to Blake and then Gustavo.
Did you just hear an F-bomb in the background?
There was one during the game. Did you hear that one?
I heard that one too. Yeah. High quality of professionalism here. All right, here we go.
Jeremy, how important do you think this victory tonight was for you and your tenure here?
Well, the wins and losses are really, the losses are about me, and the wins are about the players. I didn't play any plays tonight. These guys went out there and worked hard, and they've worked hard all week. It's good to see them get a chance to be on top. So, I thought our coaches have done a really nice job keeping them kind of moving in the right direction. We've got a really young team, and these guys, the way they practice and compete, they're gonna continue to improve and get better. It's one thing about it. Nobody wants this to be their last game at Tennessee. I'm talking about players. They want to play. They want to play for a long time. So as long as we keep having games, it gives them an opportunity to improve as a football player.
Gustavo.
I will say that's something I like about Pruitt, that he does a lot. He tends to take a lot of the blame on himself. And yeah, I know he's making excuses with COVID and all that stuff, but a lot of times in his press conferences and his his coach's show, he takes ownership, man. He takes the blame and he gives the praise to the players, which I think that's what he should do as a head football coach. This is pretty funny. Crabtree, I can't say that. I'm trying to run a good quality professional show here. But yeah, this dude asked some great questions. Let's see what he's got for us tonight.
Gustavo, are you there? All right, we'll go to Jimmy Hines.
He's not even there to ask his question.
Jeremy, your run defense was really good against Florida, and then that looked like it carried over to Vanderbilt. What's been the key there?
Well, I feel like for the most part this year, we've had pretty good run defense. You want to eliminate the explosive plays. Obviously, that's when people start getting chunk plays on you, it runs up in a hurry. I think a lot of that, everybody always talks about run defense being the defensive front. I believe, to me, if you want to be really good in run defense, the secondary's got to be involved in how you fit from the third level. The runs that pop out there, if something gets messed up, it needs to be a 7-yard game, not a 17-yard game, So we had a couple of them, like right before the half, we had a mistake there, had the ball bounce out and should have been playing zone, and we had a guy running with a guy man-to-man that ended up giving them an opportunity to score before the half.
Jeremy, also, I thought that your pressure on Kenny Fields was really consistent throughout the game. Maybe more so than any game this year. What was the key to that?
Well, they stayed behind the chains a lot in the game, so it's a lot easier to create pressure. If you know they're going to throw the football. The scoreboard dictated a lot of that probably too. And I thought our guys up front, they continue to work. We've not finished. We got the guy off the spot a few times, but finishing on sacks, we've got to improve there. But we did affect the quarterback.
We'll go to Gentry Estes and then back to David Oven.
Yeah, Jeremy, you've
Travis Adair with a $5 super chat says, does having your radio station showing on your background with your head bobbing around really help? It looks awful. What's he talking about?
Himes.
Oh, I didn't see it. I try to tune that dude out. That guy, man, Jimmy Himes an idiot. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I hate I wasn't paying attention, because any opportunity I get to make fun of Jimmy Himes, I usually like to take it. So I'm glad that you sent us a $5 super chat to say that. Thanks, Travis. We appreciate the support.
You've talked about, young team gaining confidence over the course of the season. Did you see that play out in this game, after Bryce's touchdown? It just seemed like, maybe a weight was lifted. You guys started playing real well after that point.
Well, I thought defensively the first two drives, they were like -9 yards, right? And then they got a 3rd and 10, and they check, and we don't check. We should have killed and don't, and gave them an easy first down. And then they kind of made some first downs, ended up scoring a touchdown there. We're playing 3 deep zone. We don't get the middle of the field, so can't do that. I thought after that we settled down and played. They had the one. They made a play, right? They threw the 9 route on Alante. He's got good coverage. Kid made a good throw and a good catch. That's going to happen in this league. We stopped them. They kicked a field goal. Other than that, I thought until the drive there, and that was the 4th quarter there, had a couple of chances there, had 2 penalties, and then had a ball go right through her hands. So I thought defensively we played pretty good.
That's a very underrated comment.
Was that the same design as what you guys ran last week? And also, if you have an assessment of Paxton Brooks' arm, I'm curious as well.
What?
Well, I know these guys think.
An assessment of Paxton Brooks' arm? What kind of question is that?
We're going to put him out at QB next week.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's bad enough when the commentary team is making jokes about it, saying he's going to play quarterback. Come on, man. What kind of evaluate his arm?
Come off it, man.
Come off it, man.
I think that we're never going to run these things, a lot of these things we've worked on forever. And it was just the play that we thought would be there at the right time. So we called it. Paxton, we done a nice job blocking up front. They actually, it wasn't, they had a block on, so Henry had to find his way through there. Blakely done a nice job protection, and Paxton put it on him. So it was a good play. We didn't get any points out of it, but it's a good play. I tell you what it did, it changed field position.
Mike Wilson, then Trey Wallace.
Yeah, Jeremy, is there an element of playing both JT and Harrison that's just kind of an early audition for next year? I mean, does that factor in at all to when you're rotating those guys in, getting a look at both?
Well, when we decided to go with Harrison and JT, and Brian got hurt tonight. He made a nice run down there. We're looking for the future, right? We kind of stayed the course through the season, and the way the stop and start and getting these guys caught up a little bit gives us an opportunity. So, just felt like it's the right thing to do. Just looking at how they practice and perform, it's not a whole lot of difference in any of them, really. So, getting the opportunity that means a lot for these guys to get some live action.
Trey?
Jeremy, how would you assess your secondary tonight? A couple, it looked like on TV, maybe you would know, maybe a couple busted coverages at times, but do you think they played up to standard tonight, and how would you assess them?
No, I don't. There was only one busted coverage. It wasn't busted. I mean, when we play middle field coverage, we try to cheat the middle field safety and get him involved in the run. So he's got to do a nice job with his eyes, reading uncovered linemen. We had a young kid made a mistake, and he'll learn from it, right? I mean, it was this past week, probably 4 or 5 snaps in a row. I'm standing back there with him in the back, just looking at the center or looking at the guard, just so you can kind of cheat it a little bit. I mean, it don't do you any good to go back there and play 40 yards deep in the middle of the field and they're running football, right? But it don't.
It's so weird to me that this was Vanderbilt, a terrible Vanderbilt team, and we're like talking about how I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be so negative, but it's like the answer should be it was Vanderbilt and they suck. That's why we played good football tonight. I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Don't do you any good when they're throwing the ball not to have a middle field safety. So there's a fine line, and we pride ourselves in coaching this, and we got to do a better job to coach them up so we don't have that happen.
We'll go to Cliff and then Blake.
Yeah, Coach, just wanted to know your thoughts on what Sarah Fuller did for Vanderbilt today, and just your thoughts on seeing that here.
Sweet Moses, are we really going to talk about who's asking this question? You're such an idiot. Why do we have to talk about this? Do we even need to finish this press conference? I don't even want to hear this
History
answer.
being made.
Good Lord have mercy.
Well, I think it's awesome.
Politically correct
I said
answer
earlier in the
incoming.
week, having a daughter this past year, just the opportunity.
I have 2 daughters. It's bullcrap. It's bullcrap, okay? I have 2 daughters. I want them to be able to do anything they can in this world. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you have a kicker that you were saying is your extra point kicker. You don't think that kid that they trusted to kick, 54 yards? A 54-yard field goal? That kid can't kick an extra point? He's only good from 54. He's not good from the PAT. Give me a break. Give me a break. I need JP here to say, get out of here, man.
Opportunity that Sarah Fuller has probably created for other young ladies that maybe want to follow that path one day. She done a fantastic job on the soccer team here at Vanderbilt. She's obviously a winner. And she walked out there and kicked it right through, so just think it says a whole lot about her and, really kind of her fortitude to be brave enough to go do this, I think it says a whole lot about it.
Blake?
Jeremy, I also wanted to ask about the fake punt. What made you go with Henry To'oTo'o as the target on that play?
Well, he's on our punt team, so that's something we've been working on.
He was on the field
since we got here. Just felt like this was the time to use it. Felt like it was there.
But I mean, has he showed to have good hands in practice? Because you also got other guys on punt team, I'm sure, that can catch passes. Why did you think he would be the guy?
Well, I mean, he's the personal protector. So if we're going to run that play, I didn't want to change people. But Henry played tailback in high school. He's got as good a hand as anybody on the team.
Couple more. We're going to Gustavo, are you there?
Oh!
Putting together crew.
Freaking. All right, I'm just going to end it there. I don't care what the last question is. VolQuest and their ads. I on this channel, I turn off mid-roll ads for that. It's like, sure, it makes some money for us, but it's like, it's so annoying when you get into watching a stream and it's just ad. So any of you guys out there that hate me, just realize that I'll do you a favor. I turn off mid-roll ads. So there you go. Matt, maybe you'll like me now. That's it. We got to wrap this thing up. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. It was Vanderbilt. Dauber, you got any final comments you want to make before we wrap it up?
No, I mean, like I said earlier, this game went exactly how I thought it would go. Beat a team we should beat. Beat a team we should beat, even though they were severely undermanned and have 40-some scholarship athletes available. But it did some good, did some bad. I don't know. It's a hard game to get excited for. It's a hard season to be excited for, and we've got a tough game next week against A&M, and then I know as much as you don't want to talk about it, there is the potential for a bowl game with the total number of wins being lifted, and the SEC having, I think it's 11 bowl tie-ins, and the potential for a couple teams to make the playoffs. So that would put us right on the cusp of being one of the last SEC teams to get a bowl bid. The question is that something that Philip Fulmer, as the athletic director, Pruitt as the coach, do you want to take accept a bowl bid with the season that they've had?
I would, no matter what. Even though I'm going to come on here and make fun of it and laugh about it and say it's embarrassing, I would take it.
It does give you the extra practice.
Even though it's not a lot this year because obviously the delays and everything getting pushed back. You're not getting a whole lot of practices, but you're still getting more practice and another game. You're getting more in-game reps.
The only thing is we don't even know how many of these bowl games are going to be played. We've got bowls dropping left and right. There was a bowl game that the SEC had a tie-in with that was canceled, and the SEC jumped in a deal with another bowl to pick up that. I saw a question roll through there. About Samaglia. He opted out and had a couple guys already answer that in the chat as well. But I think it's an opportunity to get another game in a shortened season and get some more reps and hopefully some more of this youth out there. And you're playing for next year. We've said that for the last couple of weeks. Yep. IC86. It came out Friday, I believe. The entire coaching staff has agreed to not accept any incentives for making a bowl if they do. So I think
of them
saves the university, I think, about $300,000 is what I read.
Let me hit this super chat on the way out the door. Tennessee Sports Network with another $2. Thanks so much for the support. Says, how do you and Dauber feel about A&M with Harrison Bailey? Is that what you're saying? We'll break it down more in depth Wednesday night at 7:00 for the Wednesday night show. But for me going into it, I don't have a whole lot of confidence. You're talking about a top 5 team, and I know a lot of you guys have kind of been talking about it in the chat that A&M likes to run the football. And that's the one thing that I think that this Tennessee defense does well. I think they stop the run well, and I think a lot of that is the aggressiveness of Jeremy Banks and Crouch both. I think they are aggressive. A lot of times they get sucked up into the run game, and that opens up the middle of the field. But I don't have a whole lot of confidence going into it. I will say this. I want to see some positives. Yes, I'm frustrated tonight. I've got a whole lot of negative opinions coming out, but Tennessee did what they were supposed to. They won big. I want to see them build on that momentum next week. If they can be competitive with Texas A&M, show me some bright spots with Harrison Bailey, JT Shrout, whichever direction they choose to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they played both. Give me something to build on for next year. I'm down and out on Jeremy Pruitt. I'm done with him. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he will be the guy. You show me something against A&M, maybe you can suck me back in. But I don't know. We'll see. What about you, Dauber? Final comments, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, old Jeremy says, they go out and they try to win every game.
They try to score a lot of points. They try to score every time they have the ball.
They need to try to score more than the other team, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know football, but that's how it works.
No, Gustavo doesn't apparently.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have a change of heart this week and be a little bit more excited. But like I said, today it was just it was hard to get pumped up for this game because it's Vandy, because Vandy has their own set of issues because of the way this season has gone for us. We
didn't send a single text the entire game.
No, I was sitting there. Okay, yeah, and like I said earlier, we did some good things, but there were still some concerning things, and those things that were concerning will be magnified next week against a much better opponent.
Yep. All right, that's it. That's going to wrap this episode up of Talkin VAWLS. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate all the support through Super Chats, through memberships, through picking up merchandise. All the links for the Talkin VAWLS merch are in the description. If you guys will check those out, we would greatly appreciate it. Just a quick reminder, the day after tomorrow from the Indy Kid, the Orange Blazer on Monday from the Indy Kid, Talkin VAWLS basketball show with Dauber and JP Tuesday immediately following the Appalachian State game, probably around 9:30ish. And then Talkin VAWLS live Wednesday night. We'll be breaking down Texas A&M. All of you in the chat that miss JP and love him so much, he'll be back Wednesday. You can get his opinions. I'm sure he'll be angry, probably go on a rant or two. But that's going to wrap this thing up for Dauber. My name is Boogie Bentley. The last thing I have to say for the evening is go Big Orange.
The songs howl like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. The dogs howl